Hey everybody, it's Joel from the Fun Pimps, and here we are with Alpha 16 Q&A with Mad Mole Volume 2. Red Eagle. Will the mapping system get some attention in Alpha 16? There are numerous bugs in the overlay for it, and worse in the tracking one. If you explore blah blah blah, Neil Armstrong, your map will okay. Hey dude, if there's bugs, post it in the bug forum. And if it doesn't get any attention, you could point Roland to it. You know, these need to be reproducible bugs. You know, so that we can hopefully that's the easiest way for us to fix them, and that would be really helpful. So if you can find the bug and reproduce it, show us how to reproduce it. We'll fix it. Greenhorn. When will cars conform to the terrain? And are there any plans to have them appear in any other orientations or conditions? Upside down, burning, smashed into a pole. You know, voxels are tough, dude. Voxels are like a big meter of cubes, and I'm not sure, you know. So I know we want to fix it, but they have like data limitations. The more features we add to a voxel block, the more data it needs to contain, and there's a huge memory increase. So you know we'll have to figure that out. Hopefully, yeah, we can figure it out. Get some more vehicles in there because the ones we have are kind of repetitive and you know Alpha 1 cars basically. So I'd like to kind of redo those at some point. So yeah, hopefully. Extra kicking about undead animals. If the wolves make it in, will their zombie counterpart make it in as well? And what difference will there be between zombie dogs and zombie wolves? You know, that's a good question. We haven't really thought about it a whole lot, but I imagine they're going to be very similar. I am specifically wanting to tackle the rotation problems that animals have, how they can spin a 360. And I think that's why dogs are so annoying, is because they just flip instantly. So we want to get them turning in circles, and I think that'll make dogs a lot easier to manage. And you know, a wolf, if he's a copy of the new improved dog, it'll be just fine. The big difference is hopefully, you know, you'll be able to find a wolf cub and tame it. But that's, you know, I don't know if that'll make it into 16, but you know, we'll see how it goes. So on to the next question. Guilt Turin. Hey, Mad Mole, last week you mentioned some improvements to melee combat you were thinking of, but I do not see how these are going to be usable during the Blood Moon hordes, as wading down into a pit of running zombies to take them on hand-in-hand combat is suicide. What we really need is a melee weapon that can be used from a safe position, from the top of a wall, like you know, a glaive or a halberd. You know, that's just cheap. You know, I just don't see that as, yeah, sit from the safety of your little perch up there and stick them in the head. I mean, that's, you know, we can already do that by building an iron bar. Well, no, you can only shoot through those, so there's a little bit of a cost. Yeah, I don't know. You know, we'll have to think about that, talk about it. There's just a lot of pros and cons to that idea. So I disagree with you about the improvements that I want to make to melee combat being useless. Yeah, I mean, it might be crazy to go down into a horde, but if we get the specialization in that I'm talking about, and you know, you're really good at melee, I could see a guy going down and doing some pretty serious damage. You know, if you swung a sledgehammer in a wide pattern and it hit 5 guys that were surrounding you and they all got knocked back and stunned because you used a special power attack and you had perks for better knockdowns and stuff like that, then I think that could be a big game changer. But you know, I don't even know if we're going to get to that. It doesn't sound like it. We're focused on electricity and the things we've talked about. So maybe Alpha 17. Filio, are the sleepers going to be regular zombie strength and the danger comes from being taken by surprise, or they will be extra strong as well? Are they going to be hidden or somehow sneaky, or can we run up and club every corpse we see on the floor and be pretty much okay? Well, they're going to be leveled zombies based on your level, using like the blood moon system that we have. We want to spawn guys that are a challenge to you. And, will they be sneaky? Maybe. I mean, it just depends on the level designers. If, we get them spawning in closets and, enclosures where you wouldn't expect to find one, and have them, we need more crates and mazes in the game, in my opinion. So it's a little harder so you can't just run into a room and scan it and see every loot box and see everything there is to see in 2 seconds. If there was more clutter and more crate mazes, so to speak. It's kind of an old level designer term that I've used, but if we had a few more crate mazes, basically, piles of debris, walls, and just stuff blocking your visibility, I think it would be a lot more interesting. And then as you go into these dark tunnel, there could be little side closets in the tunnel where sleepers are, and when you walk through there, they kind of wake up, and all of a sudden you're surrounded. I mean, to me, that's the ideal, or that is a fun and interesting spawning scenario. Because right now, they all spawn outside, or a few spawn inside, and they try to break their way out to get to you. It's the way it's going to work is you're going to go inside, and you're going to be making noise, and then you might wake somebody up, and you might not even hear them. I mean, they might just be lurking and waiting for you to get close, and then they come. So we'll see how it plays out. We need to code it in. I mean, how I envision it and how it ends up are always often two different things, because reality dictates what we can do in a certain amount of time. So you can't always get your dream thing done. But anyway. So, Adrian, my question is, if we could get a driving suit or something we could use to submerge faster, a diving suit, would be have an increased amount of oxygen. We'll probably get some kind of swimming buffs going on at some point, swimming gear, swimming perks. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure that out as we go. Right now, there's not much underwater exploration because I don't think we can place random decor or random POIs underwater yet. Once we have that capability, it's going to be huge. So once we can do it, that'll give us a reason to make this content, and then we can figure all that out. Exodus. Mad Mole, can we please have a regular Van Dyke goatee? Pretty please. I know regular type goatee, not the shaggy one. Actually, a Van Dyke has a clear, or for people who can't even grow a proper beard. It's for the guys who can only grow hair on their chin, or a few people actually shave the mustache connector to the chin hair. So, I don't know. We might put that in. I mean, we're always putting in more facial hairs and hairstyles, so I can put that on the list. I guess what we have right now is kind of a circle beard is what you could call it. But a Van Dyke has like a clear disconnect between the mustache and the chin hair. So we'll think about it. How's that sound? Flicks. What is the use of using steel for pickaxes if the iron pickaxe is going to swing faster and still two-shot stone? 33% less mining time with iron compared to steel. I think you need to bring this up to Gaz. He's gonna explain this in science and reasons that I cannot, because he's the one who's taken over all the balancing. I do think the durability has something to do with it. So yeah, that's something you need to take up with him, and he can bring it up to me if it's that important. Corgi, have you considered putting random shallow graves throughout the map and backyards behind businesses, etc., that will spawn sleepers if you get too close? No, not really. I mean, we're not even sure if our zombies are truly undead, and they certainly don't affect the previously deceased. So that doesn't, I mean, that doesn't really, it's not something like, well, I don't even know what was that, the first Dawn of the Dead or Romero zombies that were bringing them out of the graves. Our zombies aren't like that. Our zombies are more like Walking Dead, where you get infected when you're alive, and then when you die, you come back a zombie. I mean, that's kind of the lore that we feel is that closely matches what we're wanting to do, I would say. So having them pop out of the ground and all that is just too cheesy, and I don't really. That's traditional undead, and I don't. If we had undead, we'd have skeletons in the game and everything else. I mean, it might be cool. I don't know, but it doesn't seem. It seems like the core of our fan base are Walking Dead fans. So anytime we've strayed too far from realism or too far from the Walking Dead television show, there's been resistance. So I like being grounded in realism, and to me, I mean, I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. I love skeletons and ghouls and wraiths and any kind of and true undead. I just don't think our zombies are even undead. I mean, if we make that change, then we would start putting more skeleton-looking zombies in, and sure, have them pop out of the ground. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're just going with the Walking Dead style, though, for now, until we figure out all of our lore and our story. Oz Hawkeye, have you considered a volumetric air filtration system like space engineers? It would be a good way of delaying the build of massive super safe underground. Yeah, we've considered that. We've talked about it. We're not sure if we're gonna do that. Maybe down the road a little bit. I think we're always getting one step closer to another feature. And by that I mean, now that we've got electricity working in the game and we're building all these objects that you can power, something like that is starting to make a lot more sense, and it feels like it's a little closer. Ertz. It's pretty strange that there aren't any fire mechanics in the game. Wood burning, fire spreading. Is it planned or not? I don't think it's strange. I think it's, we're not done, so it seems pretty normal to me. I don't know. Yeah, we want to do that. The question is, will it look good? Will it perform good? So it's just a matter of time before we get that going and do it in a way that doesn't destroy everybody's frame rate. I mean, do we want a level 1 guy with a torch to be a threat in PvP? There's a lot of questions to answer there. I mean, I guess as long as you have a concrete base or metal base, you're good to go. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things we want to do, but now's not the time. Not yet, anyway. When we get a little closer, maybe. Lessifer. Great work, Mad Mole and TFP. I would like to know if TFP have considered offering any internships in development of 7 days. You could have a competition and offer a couple of unpaid internships. No, not really. I mean, it's nothing against interns, but we're all pretty high level guys who require very little overseeing. Basically, I mean, we're all good enough that we can just give a guy a task and he's going to knock it out. And my experience with interns and guys who aren't experienced is, you end up they eat your lunch, asking questions, and you end up spending so much time explaining it to them. You could have done it 3 times already and not had any of the headaches. So that's been my experience with interns. Maybe other people are better teachers than I am, but I think I'm a pretty good teacher. I make videos for guys, and I used to make videos for a company I worked at. And I'm going to do it for for you guys. So I'm gonna, give you guys tutorials on how to do stuff once we get into the modding and get the tools ready to go. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where even guys with who have shipped a game and have some experience, unless they're at a very high level, it makes it difficult sometimes to have some inexperienced guys on the team. So we're at a good size right now. I mean, we might grow a little more as we keep, we're always growing slowly, but we're at a good size right now where we're not looking to bring anybody on. Sorry. The other thing is all these new guys, they always come in and they want to leave their mark on the game. They got all these ideas, what would be cool, and it's just like, we already know where we're going with the game. We don't need any ideas. It's no offense, but I mean, it's like, we don't need to have battles and arguments every day about how to make the game cool. It's more about how to prioritize the features that we have left to do that are critical. Yeah, it does. It doesn't. It really doesn't. What you said here, this could free up some labor for more critical features. It doesn't. It slows you down and clogs up the wheels with stuff you don't need. I mean, maybe the right guy could, but the right guy's not going to work for free or for cheap or it's just not worth it. It's better to hire a guy who's a really good fit. Get them trained on the specifics. And, we pretty much know within a month of a new hire if they're going to work or not, a month or two. If you're not up to speed by, and just cranking stuff out and not, bugging people with 100 questions, then, you're probably not going to make it. So anyway, moving on. Legion Diablo, thank you for one of the best games out there. You did mention that different types of meat will return in the future. Is that something we can hope for in A16 if you take as much time as you need? I would say there's a good chance. Karimez, all I want to say is take your time with A16. If it takes 6 months, let it. Question. Now that the game is adding more perks, are there any chance we'll see a player level increase or more quests that give skill points like recurrent quests generated by game? Current quests in the game are a bit too rare to find, so the players can purchase every perk. Let me think about this for a minute. No, I mean, we're not really interested in letting the player get every perk, and we're trying to have specialization with, we might not do that either. We're just talking about it, but, we're kind of wanting a little more. I think it would be cool to have specialization, but we're not even visiting any of that for A16, so I'm just going to move on because I don't want to stir the hornet's nest right now about that. So Fish wants to know, what's the expected graphics quality you can run on given the recommended specs that come with the game? This comes from your comment. You're running on a potato. In the last Q&A, my experience on a Mac is that for a roughly recommended system, I get 50 FPS on medium on single player. This drops to 30 or 40 when joining a random multiplayer game. Is this good, bad, or about right? Performance is always in flux. I can't even comment on that. So if you're happy, it's good. If you're not happy, it's bad. I don't. When we're in beta and moving towards gold, then I think we could establish some guidelines for this. But right now, it's like things are just changing. The gist I get is that it's running better than ever and looking better than ever. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy right now about things. But we have more performance coming. We've got a lot of stuff that we know that we can do to make the game run better, and it's just a matter of time. So we're constantly doing features while adding some performance perks in the background so that we don't break the bank and make things run crappier. So our goal from here on out is to always have the game run as good as it is now, if not better, and that's kind of how we're going with that. Hey, Household Lamp wants to know, Mad Mole, in Alpha 16, will zombies be able to interact with water? Because it seems like in Alpha 15, zombies are not affected by water. They just walk around on the floor of a body of water. Will they be able to swim or something? Zombies can't swim. I mean, they just walk on the bottom. Haven't you ever seen Land of the Dead? And the whole bunch of, I mean, they're dead. They're probably stomachs are full of water and whatnot. I don't know. Maybe they would float. We haven't really got that far until we get swimming animations and all that, and then we'll make that decision. But for now, I'm pretty happy with them just walking on the bottom of the water. I suppose are you concerned of an exploit, like the player can just swim forever and dodge a horde on the bottom of the lake? I mean, that's probably an issue we have to work on. Maybe it'll take stamina to tread water. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out, but it's not really on our radar right now. We've got a lot bigger problems to solve. Geez, with wolves and bandits coming, will the AI get an overhaul with more advanced AI behaviors such as walking in packs, taking cover, and doing cover fire? Definitely not in Alpha 16. We might see some new special behaviors for some special zombies. We're doing the breadcrumb systems. That'll make the AI better. Sleepers will have some AI coded in that'll probably make them cooler as well. So, we'll see. Depends how long 16 takes. I mean, I would love to get some better AI, but I'm not sure how much of that is coming in 16. Kingslayer, what's up, Mad Mole? Thank you for your 15. It's awesome. Thank you, Kingslayer. Any chance of seeing any siege machineries coming, such as a catapult or battering ram? It would be awesome to be able to craft them late in the game and use them to raid in a PvP server. Thanks, bro. That's an interesting idea. Maybe. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if it required a generator and some stuff. So, you start setting up your war camp on the outer perimeter of a guy's base. So you have to deal with them guys shooting at you. You have to build a few blocks to, give you some cover while you're working on setting up your generator for whatever it's going to do. Maybe it's going to shoot flaming mortars into their base or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, when we get into PvP, we'll be all in. Just like right now, we're all in to electricity. All hands on deck. Everybody's working on electricity. I'm doing concepts. Rick and everybody, we all had a design meeting to get everything figured out, and Lathan's coding it in. Robert's assisting here and there on that. So yeah, it's been quite and then Ryan Favelli, he did our wiring, and Ryan Rayner's doing the models, and Joey's helping with some of the modeling too, because there's a lot of traps and stuff that we need to get done. So yeah, we're pretty much, quite a few of us are focusing on electricity right now. So when it comes time for PvP, we're going to tackle the land claims, we're going to tackle balance, we're going to, and then we'll consider some of this stuff. So Ice Hot, hi Mad Mole, just wondered what the plans are in terms of harvesting honey if you're removing hornets. Is honey becoming a loot only item? If so, is there anything the vultures have to make them worth harvesting? Feathers, I'm sure that feathers and rotten flesh. I don't know. Pretty much feathers would probably be the key ingredient there. We'll see about other stuff as we develop the recipes and whatnot. Honey, there'll still be honey and loot. I mean, I don't even see any hornets, so I don't even know where you're finding hornets. In the wasteland, maybe. I haven't seen a single hornet in 55 hours of gameplay. So, Hot Lava, in your last Q&A, you said that the average player will not even see 50% of a random gen map. With that in mind, do you feel the trader density in random world gen is adequate as is? In my experience, you get an average of 3 traders per quarter of a given random world gen seed, which means an average random gen player will see far fewer traders than Nevis gain and will have a travel a greater distance between them. I don't, I find one trader and I just build next to him and use that one guy. I don't know why you need more than one. I mean, yeah, they have different gear. Occasionally I'll make a run to a different trader, but you hardly have time to hit another trader. So it's better to just wait for the one, to restock and hit him again. That's just me. I haven't played random gen. I'm kind of waiting for the sockets to get done and whatnot. And then I want to do some tuning on the art side of it and get the height of the mountains tuned in, the frequency of water bodies. I'm going to do some adjustments there. It's just programmer art right now. Robert's done it all, so I want to get my hands on it, but I want to wait till he's done because I don't want to waste my time tuning it. So once he's done, then I'll get into this and I'll try to tune it in. Maybe even Gaz will help too, so we get kind of a good balance of everything going on. Occam. Question. Now that lakes seem so much larger with the view distance, would it be possible to add some kind of craft for moving across the lakes? Everything's possible. It's just a matter of time. We would like to do rafts and motorboats, but we got to figure that out, and we need the time to do it. And I'm not sure when we're going to do it yet. Stinaz. Hey, Mad Mole. With regards to snakes, which I personally am looking forward to, I am guessing you'll be implementing a poisoning buff or similar if attacked and bitten, and there will be some way of looting and making a cure. I was wondering whether, if that's the case, were you planning on implementing an ability to farm the poison too, so a player can add it to arrows, bolts, and maybe a knife machete? Probably not a knife. I don't know. I guess we could hack it in now with arrows, and where you take an arrow. I don't know, they had a bunch of new recipes. It'd be cool just to be able to apply poison somehow. Like maybe you would combine a vial of poison, I don't know. We'd have to talk about that. So, I mean, yes, snakes are coming. Yes, they're going to poison you. Yes, there should be some kind of snake bite medicine, but the other part, I don't know yet. We'd have to talk about it and figure it out. Ekrib, or Eric CB, I guess. Hey, nice game you've got now. Cheers. My question. In regards to all the forum debates and polls about the A16 length, what do you think of having the shorter update cycles, 2 months, and dropping in each some of the whole new content that is being called electricity boats, bandits, etc. instead of one big update? I don't know. I think it's done when it's done. We work on stuff until it's finished. We were already doing this. We cut stuff out so that we can ship on time. So we kind of work until we kind of hit that boiling point, and then it's like, all right, we're cutting this, we're cutting that, and that's what happened last build. We cut bandits, we cut lock picking, cut some other stuff. So here we are. We're putting in those cut features now into A16. So we'll continue to do that. But 2 months turns into 6 pretty fast when you're working on a game. I mean, every day is fun. When you're having fun, time flies. And, it is what it is. So I don't know when we're going to ship Alpha 16, but we ideally, yeah, a shorter time frame. But, reality dictates things. And there's certain things that need to happen, and those delay the build. Like, there's just... You do one feature, but then it requires this, and this to be polished or finished, and that's why things take so long. Is because you don't always. We usually foresee like 90% of the bugs and the edge cases, and then we start putting stuff in, and then the other 10% comes up, and those 10%, some of those can be difficult problems to solve. So that's why things take a while. Something strange. Lockpicking. Hello, Mad Mole. Thanks for creating the best zombie game out there. Well, thank you. How will the player get lockpicks? Are they craftable or found in rare quantities? Also, if you fail the lockpicking minigame, will you lose the lockpick? Honestly, I don't know yet. That's something we haven't even talked about. I mean, once the mini game's done and it's polished, then we kind of goes to me and Gaz to make the items and kind of come up with the recipes for everything and the game balance considerations. So I guess when we get there, we'll get there. I can't even tell you. I mean, chances are it'll be craftable, but might require a mechanical part. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. Zombie Horde. I think you heard. I think I heard you mention adding resting to the game at one stage. Still coming or scrapped? If coming, there has been much thought. Has there been much thought as to what this will do and how it will work? Cure a buff, create one if lacking, etc. Um, that's we're always talking about stuff. We haven't talked about it for a while. I don't. It's not even on the table right now for discussion. But the way I think it would work is you would just kind of like you could hit a use animation on your sleeping bag or your bed, and you would get into it, and then you would heal at a faster rate, and then you might get an XP learning buff because you're well rested, like Fallout or something like that. Um, you would cure your broken leg faster. You could probably still craft. Maybe crafting would only be half speed because you're in bed, but I would want to be able to do some stuff and not just sit in the bed all night because that would be kind of boring. Granted, you're getting rid of some ailments faster, but still, it's a game, and I want to keep the player involved in the game. Um, that's why I like the new harvest system so much better. It feels like you're doing something. And the old method of looting an animal, you would sit there and look at a loot timer. Well, you know what? When I'm looking at a timer, I'm not engaged, and I want to stay engaged. And I think when we changed to the harvest system, that kept the player engaged. So I think it's always good to keep the player engaged, and I cannot iterate that enough. So I'm not a fan of timers or what do you do? You're going to go AFK while you rest in the bed. It's not a good idea. So if we do put rest in the game, I think the player ought to be engaged even while he's resting, and be able to craft and do some things. Biofringe. Hey, Mad Mole, can I have your rig? No, you cannot. Not literally, but seriously, I am looking to custom build a new gaming system only for myself and my better half. Yep, 7 Days has done that to us. So I was hoping you could share the specs of your system that you play 7 Days on. Details are great, but yeah, I can do that for you. Let me be right back. And I am back. Let's see. So I have a i7 5960, 3 gigahertz, 32 gigs of RAM, Windows 10, 64-bit OS, and then a few more details I can find quickly. It was my hard drive. I have 1 terabyte SSD, and I have like a 3 gig SATA drive, just for storing other stuff. And the 980 Ti, I would recommend getting a 1000 series or whatever the newest one is, the 10 something. I think those launched right after I bought my rig. I was like, what, really? Okay, no big deal. It still gets great frame rate on nearly everything. Let's see. Sound is probably like integrated. I don't know. Nothing too awesome there. So I do have a what is this thing? The Razer Death Hatter Chroma. That's my mouse. I love that. I love that mouse. It's awesome. So hope that gets you going. That should be an awesome rig for you. I mean, I love my PC. It's been really great so far. So let's see. Congo Bongo. Are you planning any kind of multiplayer boss event that would require more than one player to beat? Yeah, I don't know if that's coming in 16, but we do want to have some quests that players could team up to go do. Be pretty awesome. Won't go into any details because I don't know if I have any details. I mean, we've had some conversations, but yeah. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Every time it gets me. Hey, anyway, I read that the menu is getting an overhaul. Does that mean that the server browser is finally getting some love too? No, it does not. It just means the main menu is getting done. We already redid the server browser after we did the main menu, so it might be, I don't know. To clarify, servers are now split into mod and vanilla, but not if the actual server is actually using modified files or not. Yeah, that's probably a good thing to add. Yeah, that's a very good thing to add. So yeah, hopefully we can put all that in there. I don't know when though. Branikova. When we get sleeper zombies, can we get some regular corpses that look exactly like the sleepers? That way you don't know until you approach it. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the idea. And so yeah, that's what they're going to look like, is a sleeping corpse, and there'll be some static ones that are in the exact same pose, so you can't even tell what's going on. Hit the wrong button there. Oh, great. Well, that concludes the Q&A for now. I don't know if I lost my internet or what's going on here. I don't think so though. Looks like something's wrong with the forums. So, all right. Thanks, guys.